The apples are ripening, but they'll be very small this year, I think. And the garden is looking lovely out there. And we have a wonderful breakfast. Some blueberries and goldenberries on some waffles.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to be talking about Water to Burn.
Water to Burn. That's a novel?
It is. It's
fantasy.
So awful. Yeah. It's a very bad novel.
Fairly good title. It's kind of catchy.
Okay. Well, I commented on it a couple times in my write-up.
Okay.
I haven't, as you can see, I have a little bit left. I'm saving this. I'm at page 240. I'm saving the end for when I go sit and wait for food at the Salvation Army on Thursday. Because I don't like to be reading something out in the world and then take it back and read it, because I can't really clean paper very well. And so then I'd have to let it sit for, so I can't be bothered.
Yeah, when I take stuff to the hospital, I leave it for 5 days.
Yeah.
Well, it's usually longer than that. I usually just have stuff I take to the hospital. So I guess that might be.
And well, this one, it's there's some sort of interdimensional thing, like there's other dimensions in this. And I'm reading another book now that it's dealing with the same sort of stuff. I mean, there's multiple dimensions, but it's funny, right? And I am loving the other book, so I'll give it a good review. But this one, wow, it was so... This book is poorly written, boring, and it's hard to care enough to bother to try to find a story while wading through the pointless descriptions of dinner menu items. There are way too many acronyms used in this, and although there is a glossary for them at the end of the book...
There is a glossary, okay.
I don't care enough to even look them up as I slog through this. I did look up a few.
So these are just made-up acronyms for the story?
Well, I don't know. Maybe this is a...
It's like in the future, or when's it set?
Well, it's like these, you know, so I think they're made up, but I don't know. There might be people that
Chaos
believe in
wards,
this stuff, right?
Collective data stream. Yeah. Anyway, conscious evasion procedure. It's hilarious.
I mean, some of them might be actual used things.
Yeah, I don't recognize that either.
Long distance remote sensing. Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Anyway, where was I? Oh, as I saw through this. Chapter 8. No, I don't care. Her opening sentence doesn't even make sense. See page 136. So let's go there.
Opening sentence for a chapter.
Yes. Yes. For a chapter, it should be. It should get you wanting more, right? I slept soundly that night until dawn, when I woke to use the bathroom, probably because the rain was pelting down outside, period. That doesn't even make sense. And then it starts, Airy stayed asleep, though he reached for me when I lay back down. It should be, I slept soundly that night until dawn, period. When I awoke to use the bathroom, probably because the rain was pelting down outside, Airy stayed asleep. Blah, blah, blah. That's what it should be.
No, it kind of makes sense.
Well, there you go. The English major has spoken. He likes the sentence the way it is. I don't.
Well, I'm actually a history major now, but I think I got an English degree. I sometimes wonder if I got enough English courses.
You're like me. I just don't really care that much. Yeah, I had to.
Sorry.
Like, I've always wondered if I got a high school diploma because, like, well, the way that they were treating me in high school, it was like they didn't even tell me when it was departmental test day or anything like that. I just showed up and somebody was like, wait, what grade are you in? you should be writing this test right now. And I'm like, okay. And I went in and didn't really write the test. Anyway,
Yeah,
I didn't feel up to it.
I just realized the other day, I was an English major, but I'm not sure if I got enough. I might have just got a general degree. I might not have got enough English courses. Of course, I've got English courses since.
Anyway.
So I don't know how it works.
And so I thought that sentence sucked. James is fine with the sentence.
Well, not necessarily fine. I mean, when was this thing published? Yeah. I can't stand the art. 2011. There you go.
The opening sentence on page 154 also sucks, though not as bad. So let's see 154. See if James will. It was on Thursday, when the time came to move, my local relatives offered to help, except for Father Keith, who had church duties.
Well, that one sounds bad. I think there are too many commas. Should have been.
I put, on Thursday, my local relatives, excluding Father Keith, who had church duties, offered to help me move. I thought that would be a better sentence,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I don't know, there's a lot going on in that sentence.
There is. It does read okay to me. That's amazing, because I just woke up.
Okay. The title is stupid.
So
you got a different opinion from James
I mean,
right
it's
away.
paradoxical.
The author used the phrase in the book twice, meaning like extra water, so much that there's water to burn, right? And evidently thought it was so witty that she used it again for the title. Shouldn't the title be relevant to the subject matter, story, or characters? This book sucks. So boring. That's my review.
Yeah,
of this
no,
book.
I wanted to talk about the artwork.
Okay.
Yeah, 2011. This has been going since the 1980s with Frank Miller and all sorts of idiots. Color all. You'll notice, like with Wonder Woman, she used to have a nice costume, but I never saw the movie, but I've seen some advertisements for it. All the colors kind of like grayed out.
Yeah.
Gray is not fun. Gray is like for stupid people. It's for people who
Night
are
in the smoggy
junked
city.
out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's either gray or black. You see how everything,
Yeah,
even her
no,
red is like
it doesn't even make
grayed
sense
out.
for this, because this story, although it's the fantasy kind of genre, the same sort of people maybe who read the vampire and werewolf stuff might read this. But it's not necessary. It's a psychic. It's a story about a psychic and a psychic agency or whatever that is totally ridiculous. And I don't even want to talk about the story. I have been hating every moment that I spent reading it. It's that bad.
So, just to continue with the colors.
Oh, sorry.
This is in comic book. No. You got to do your review. That's as well. Comic books, movies. Gray is kind of junked out. Black is kind of like you're in biker territory if you really think that that's cool. Flash. He used to have a red suit, but now it's kind of junked out like gray. It ain't cool. Stupid people, junked out people, like gray and black.
Yeah, people who are sick.
People who are sick.
Anyway.
You know, people who like yellow and black according to the color test. Lucier, he claims at least, or claimed, I think he's dead, that he'd done statistical studies on what sort of people like yellow and black. That's mixing. That is contradistinct. Oh, headstrong, self-destructive. You don't want to be headstrong and self-destructive, go ahead. But when you mix black with colors, it's basically gray. What is gray? What the hey is gray? People who like gray are don't like anything. They're challenged. They're afraid. They're tired out. So what's wrong with you? Yet you like this kind of stuff. What's wrong with you?
Eat some goldenberries, some blueberries. You'll
Get a
feel better.
life, you know? Instead of moping through things. It ain't cool to like gray. You're a loser.
That's
And
just
if you
sad.
like black,
You might be
I'm-
a teenager.
the two people I know that I gave the color test to, I'm not going to mention who they were headstrong and self-destructive. Or I don't care if they're self-destructive. When they're headstrong, they get in your way. So one of your least favorite people, and deservedly so, he deserved to be, he was one of my least favorite people. Got that. And then one of my least favorite professors in the long term. I used to hang with him. I used to do all sorts of stuff for him. Basically translating his writing into English. He's trying to write English and it just didn't work out. How he became a professor, I have no clue. Well, I do have a clue. His wife would have typed up. His wife's English was a whole lot better than him.
Yeah,
came
did you
through
have
it.
to help him once his wife died?
By that point in time, he'd long retired. So, but so he graduated from 2 Ivy League universities, and I just can't see him having English to get a thesis and dissertation done. On his
Well,
own, it was dreadful.
A lot of
Like I
people
say, I didn't
hired
edit,
tutors.
I translated. I did that for free. And then, when I got out on my own, out of university, I just mentioned a few things I'm working on. You know, physics and stuff like that. I'm giving away what he was in, but I don't care. I think he's dead now, and I don't mind speaking ill of the dead, frankly.
No, I don't mind that either.
Yeah, and
I try to keep things to myself until the person dies.
so it had to do with electricity. Oh, you don't know the equations, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh, you're thinking about Maxwell's four big equations, you idiot. How patronizing. Oh, you don't know the equations. Just like waving it off. You know, like he never, all I wanted to do was discuss this stuff. But no, he had no clue. Maybe he did. I don't know. How many hours I spent laboring over his stuff while I was editing. And then, you know, like, I'd read his papers. I might have been the only person to read his papers. He had something on a new graphing system, which is based on triangles, not squares. I don't think he realized, you know, like you can actually get graph paper, if I'm not mistaken, with triangles. So it wasn't that novel. Anyway, I had actually read this stuff. Oh my gosh. I'm trying not to mention the language. The
So
language he
tired.
was working in, or that was his native language, didn't have articles. Da na. And that applies to quite a few languages. So
We have got to go buy a fan today.
It's morning. Tough sleep.
Tough sleep.
Yep, waking up and you haven't had enough sleep.
No, I have.
And you want to have more.
a headache this
Oh,
morning.
no, it's not good.
I tried to drink so much water last night, but so hot.
Yeah, it was bad last night. It was worse the night before for me.
No.
So it got up to 29.5 inside last night. The night before,
It's
30 and a half.
Only down to 26.5 right now.
I don't think it's going to be
In the
much
house.
lower.
No. So it's gonna get so hot today.
Yeah, the dogs will be hot under the collar, steaming the place
Yeah.
up anyway. Because we didn't let them out.
for waffle breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll be just steaming that.
Mm.
We'll find steaming pools of pea inside. Revenge peeing is what we call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Opie, I couldn't find him in the middle of the night to let
They
him
know
out.
they like blueberries too.
And he lay down a big heap and helped him, you know what, in the washroom.
Mm-hmm.
At least he goes in the washroom.
That was actually quite polite of him.
Yeah, I know, because it's not as though it's like there's one little girly dog who likes being right in the narrowest point of the hallway.
Yeah, it's definitely a message.
So, you know, when the light's off, you just go dragging through there, and you're trying to make sure you're not lifting up your feet in case a little 3.5-pound chihuahua's underneath them.
You don't want to step on her.
So you end up stepping in her pee. I mean, the other day, I think it was twice in the space of about 2 minutes. You weren't cussing at her, but you were yelling at her. This is for her own good, because what happened is you'd end up not really kicking her, but like, because you don't. Yeah, but
no, I try to shuffle along.
But she was shuffling along, and she got on top of her feet. But she's so lucky because Pauline doesn't lift her feet up. 3.5 pounds. I don't know what would happen if a person stepped on
when you have a little chihuahua around like that.
Well, all of them get underfoot.
Gotta be careful.
I mean, Elvis is only. You know, he'd be over 5.5 pounds. He's pretty solid, that little fella. But his father was only 5.5 pounds.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger than this guy. Someone's excited about the berries down here.
Maybe.
They can see what's happening. I don't know if he's got the angle on it. I'm still reminded of that crow that was so excited when you were hanging laundry up in the...
Oh, yeah, he thought it was hilarious.
I think he thought you were building a nest.
I don't know what he thought I was doing.
He was laughing.
We've been hanging laundry. I used to have a clothesline stretched across here, but the garden grew in.
Well, there's another problem with Chinooks. They blow the stuff down into
It was frustrating.
Combined with our local derelicts who'd be peeing and pooing. You just don't like the idea of laundry landing on...
They didn't used to do that, though.
Is that true? Yeah, it's amazing what Lethbridge has turned into.
I only started having
That's in the space
problems.
of 20 years. Problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I only started having problems when you... They used to fall asleep in the yard.
Yeah.
You'd find them there asleep.
But not peeing and pooing?
No.
Okay. Anyways, it's really bad now. There's someone I was talking to who's...
it's not as bad now as it was
during the height of the supervised overconsumption site.
Yeah, I
think you're right. It's definitely not getting worse. I think what happened is the imports came in from Standoff, and the imports that were brought in from Medicine Hat have decided some of them to filter back.
I think it might be that Glenn's parking the RCMP vehicle.
Oh, it's wonderful, right at the entry of the alley. No, I think he's doing it to keep people from shooting up in the
alley.
It's
in the bus depot, or in the bus shelter.
In the bus shelter.
Yeah,
I saw someone in the middle of the day
ridiculous.
just shooting up there.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple other people junked out there.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better.
One guy had his head
he's been doing that
right between his knees. Like, I don't know how he could. I couldn't do that. Of course, he smashed my back up, but I thought he was dead. Honest to God, I didn't want to go and wake him up because you don't know what they're packing and what they think. What they think when they
wake up and start swinging.
Yeah. So I was going, okay, what do I do? I was going to go phone. off the landline,
Mm-hmm.
and that would have meant me going to my place.
Mm-hmm.
I circled around, and I noticed he kind of roused himself.
But yeah, the goldenberries are in bloom now. See?
Okay, let me just. Oh, there we go. Actually, I was looking for color, but there's a little bit of yellow there. Isn't it? Yeah, maybe green still.
Mm-hmm.
These goldenberries, they just love it. Give them a little bit of heat, sunshine. Yeah. So many died last. Was it winter or something?
Yeah,
it was winter.
I didn't bring them in.
You weren't going to bring them in.
No.
And
James felt so sorry for them. He was trying
the
to
first
hold
frost.
the leaves so that they wouldn't
it makes
get
a
cold.
difference. I was holding them like you'd
So
hold the
I'm
hand
like,
of someone who's in hospital.
I better bring him in because he's going to feel too bad if I kill them all.
And I thought they were goners because the ones, like you must have done something to them too. Were you holding hands with them as well?
Yeah.
There we go.
Because I felt sorry
The ones
for
that
you.
we didn't touch, they died. So, I don't know. It's funny. I care about animals, not as much as you do. And not as much as a lot of people. I care about plants, again, not as much as, well, maybe. These goldenberries I love. But anyway.
I care about them. I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have the energy to care for me very well.
Yeah, I know. It's the most important thing. Is you got to take care of yourself. Just hopefully not at the expense of others. But I was leading up to, it's almost like a joke. I care about people, but people, I'm finding it harder and harder and harder to care about you. Because you are ingrates, so many of you. You try and help people out,
There's
and they
a lot of
want
good
to.
people out there.
I hope so. I hope so. Because so many people, you try to help them out, and they're yelling and screaming at you because you'll say your ideas are wrong. They are. You see, a lot of people have this idea. Oh, ideas. They're like, we live in a comic book world, and it doesn't matter. Or we live in a fantasy world. Or a sci-fi world, and it doesn't matter what your ideas are. Your ideas matter. Your ideas will get everyone killed. Your ideas will get everyone dying off and stuff like that. Billions of people. And you're mooching around. It's all of you corporationists. All of you people who believe in corporations. All of you people who believe in fundamentalist religions. All of you people that believe in... all you... what are you... Not progressives. Populists. All of you... all of you people who are faux gauches, who strutting around, parading around as though you're social democrats. You're socialists. You're not Democrats. You don't believe in freedom of speech. You don't believe in, ultimately, really in democracy. You don't believe in a meritocracy. You don't believe, which is equality of opportunity. You believe in equality of outcomes, which means people who don't put the work in and merit certain rewards or positions or stuff like that, get extra rewards for the amount of work they put in. Yeah. That's not equality. That's not democracy.
I believe, I never would have thought I'd agree with Cesar Millan's dog training style. But he certainly gets some things right. And when he mentions the feed the most passive dog the treat first, that's absolutely right. It works
and
like
you're
crazy.
Applying that to people, eh?
Yeah, you apply it to people. And
in other words,
this does not happen.
Feed the passive workers.
People get rewarded.
Yeah.
And the passive people get repeatedly shat on.
Yeah.
So,
Pauline doesn't like cussing.
It needs to change.
When she cusses, he means it strongly. So the passive workers and the passive thinkers as well get shat on. They hate passive thinkers.
Aggressive
aggressive
propagandists.
propagandists and the aggressive dictators. They hate them.
Yeah.
We're using the Briggs-Meyer thing. We're not using the color thing because I think certain people on the internet don't like it
Yeah.
because they're misinterpreting colors. Especially one. I think,
Well, there's a lot of very racist people
Yeah.
out right now that are pointing the race finger at everyone else. But really,
Racist,
they
yeah.
should be pointing it back at themselves
They're
because
awful.
they're any aggressive person who is so superficial that they focus on color. They should be really seriously considering the fact that they're racist.
Splitting apart the races. See, like, I've been told by my parents I'm part South Asian, part African American, part Indigenous American. It doesn't show, but this is what we should be striving for. This kind of mixing. Instead of saying, hey, affirmative action for this group, affirmative action for this group, disaffirmative action for this group. Split, split, split. We should be looking at miscegenation instead of, hey, let's keep this culture pristine. This culture pristine.
Well,
and this one should be shat on.
I mean, if you think about it, cultural purity really should ring a strong bell in people's ear. When you hear people wanting to maintain purity of anything, you should be frightful. You should be really scared of what's coming down the pike.
It's not just Pakistan, the land of the pure, that has problems like that, yeah.
But right now, I mean, the other day you were hearing on the radio somebody talking about cultural appropriation and stuff like that, and how offensive it is. And it's like, I'm thinking about a friend I had she was from India. She was a lovely woman, and she liked the fact that I thought her clothes were beautiful. They looked like princess outfits, right? And to me, and she gave me a bunch of her clothes, and she was telling me, you need to take it in because it's not going to fit you right. You know, she was thinking.
She was wonderful.
She was wonderful.
Nanda was her name. I think we can mention her name. People won't know who it is, right?
Oh, I guess that's true.
No, we're not
Okay.
giving the last name.
So yeah, wonderful woman, and honestly, she was happy that I.
She
thought her
was
clothes
pressing
were
extra
beautiful.
clothes
Yeah,
on
she
Pauline.
kept
I don't
giving
think
me
Pauline
more.
actually said, you'd never say, can I have those clothes or anything like that, right?
Well, there was one outfit that I saw that was the perfect color of blue, and I was like, are you going to part with that one? Because
Oh,
that's
she was
so
having a
beautiful.
sale.
And she was-
You were looking to buy this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she just gave me a whole
stuff.
bunch, yeah. And
Pauline was just looking to buy. It's not like, hey, could you give that to me? Or, that's not the way we
But-
are.
anyway,
So this was.
but I shouldn't have asked about that one. I just thought that one was up for grabs too. I was like mesmerized by the color, and I was like, oh, are you giving that one too?
Yeah, they
Or
brought
what
us
are you
into their house.
So
Very
I don't
wonderful
think she was
house.
planning to get rid of that one, though. I think she just gave it to me because I liked it so much.
No, they were wonderful. I mean, they were from the place where they speak Canada, and they gave me a Canada English dictionary just for free. You know? Again, I'm
Oh, nice.
appropriating. Well, not really, because I guess I